Namaste. On behalf of the entire team at SLG Hospitals, I would like to wish you and your dear ones a very happy festive season. May the divine powers stay with you, guide you, and keep you safe and healthy as you navigate through these still uncertain times. In this episode of SLG Hello Doctor, we will be discussing the topic of colon cancer, which is the third most commonly occurring cancer in men and the second most commonly occurring one in women. Apart from a less effective cellular repair mechanism as we age, the increased prevalence of lifestyle risk factors such as alcohol consumption, obesity, smoking, and a suboptimal diet are the reasons behind the high incidence of this disease. However, statistics show that between 30 and 50% of cancers can currently be prevented by avoiding risk factors and through early detection, treatment, and care of patients who develop cancer. Come, let's hear more on colon cancer from our guest specialist, Dr. Shrikant Soma, Consultant Surgical Oncologist at SLG Hospitals, Hyderabad. Welcome, Dr. Shrikant, to SLG Hello Doctor. Doctor, we all know that cancer can begin anywhere in the body and spread to other parts, and that there are hundreds of types of cancers, or at least that there are over 100 types of cancers. So where does colon cancer figure in all this? And what is colon cancer?
Normally the food which we eat or the drinks we take, normally we take to our oral mouth. It slowly enters into the esophagus, which passes to the chest. Then it enters the stomach, where it is digested by the gastric juices. The food then further passes into the small bowel, where it is digested by pancreatic juices and further helped by bile. Then this digested food then enters into the large bowel, which is also called as colon. So there are actually 4 parts in a colon, in the large bowel, that is ascending colon and cecum, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. So normally the right half of transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon are called as left colon cancer, and the cecum, ascending colon, and the right half of transverse colon, they're classified as right colon cancer. So normally the cancers which arise from this portion or this part of the large bowel are called colon cancers. And nowadays actually the incidence of colon cancers have been gradually increasing in India. Previously, maybe a decade or 2 decades ago, the incidence was very low. So now, because of the change in dietary habits and your environmental factors, these cancers are increasing rapidly. So according to Globocon India statistics, which was released in 2018, annually there are some around 27,000 new cases which are being detected annually. And even the mortality rates, we are losing at least 20,000 patients in a year. So it is high time that we increase the awareness about colon cancer and try to detect them early.
Doctor, can we understand what are the symptoms of cancer? Are they different for men and women? And can children be affected by colon cancer?
So the symptoms are similar in both men and women. Colon cancer is more commonly detected in men, and children also can be affected with colon cancer. So when children are getting affected, it means they are having some genetic or familial history, which means it runs through generations or in families. So there are many syndromes or many mutations which can cause colon cancer at an young age. But the most common are 2. One is FAP syndrome, that's called as familial adenomatosis polyposis syndrome, and the other one is HNPCC syndrome, hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer syndrome. This gets affected in a very young age. People get affected at a very young age. FAP can even get affected, we can see patients even less than 20 years, people get affected. If patients carry this mutation, so out of 100 patients who carry this mutation, 100 will develop the cancer in FAP syndrome. While coming to HNPCC, it is 80%. It means that if 100 patients are carrying this mutation, there's 80% chance of developing colorectal cancer in your lifetime. So both these are very common, and this have to be detected early, and you have to make sure whether the patients who are presenting to us at an early age, whether they have any familiar history or any person in the family are carrying any history of cancer. And coming to the symptoms of colon cancer, normally it is bleeding per rectum. So now bleeding per rectum is whether it can be red in color, which is called as hematochezia, or it can be dark in color, which is called as melena. So as I've told you, when the cancer arises from the right half of the colon, it can present as melena. That is, the stools are actually darker in color. When it arises from the left side of the colon, it is bright red in color. So these are the common symptoms. That is how these patients get misdiagnosed, because they generally consider this as piles, which are called as hemorrhoids. So there's a delay in presentation to us, considering thinking that it is a benign condition which is causing this. So when it's not subsiding, when your doctor on your examination detects some growth inside, or a colonoscopy detects some growth inside, it is high time that you consider an oncologist. So the other symptoms which are associated with colon cancer is pain. Pain is generally seen in advanced stages, not in early stages. So early stages you generally see bleeding per rectum. In advanced stages you see pain, and sometimes because the lumen is very narrow. So once there is a growth inside, the lumen gets narrowed. So because of this, patient will not be able to pass stools or flatus from below. So this can cause abdominal distension. Patient can also present with vomitings at an advanced stage. So these are generally the common symptoms. Another one more common symptom which we see with bleeding is altered bowel habits. So there's a sudden change in bowel habits for which you're not able to find any reason. So that is when you have to consult a doctor, try to get evaluated, and if detected early, we can treat it accordingly.
Doctor, how is colon cancer detected, and what is the screening and investigation procedures that are involved?
So when patient has any symptoms, when you consult a doctor, there are a few basic investigations which we do. So there are multiple ways which we can do screening or detecting a colon cancer. So one is called fecal occult blood testing. It means they take a stool specimen and they send it for analysis in a lab where they detect whether there is any blood noticed in the stool or something. So that is one way of doing it. The other one, and the most specific, is the colonoscopy. So where they introduce a camera from the anus from below and they visualize your entire colon. So if there is any suspicious area or any suspicious lesion which is seen on your colonoscopy in the large bowel, they will even do a biopsy in the same sitting. So once we send the biopsy, and if we detect a colon cancer, then we do further workup. That is your CT imaging of the abdomen and all. And in case some people are a little scared or they're frightened of colonoscopy because it's an invasive procedure, because they have to introduce a large scope from your anus. So in that cases, there's one more investigation which is called CT colonography or virtual colonoscopy. It's like doing a CT imaging. Only thing is we visualize the bowel in a better way. But in case we detect some suspicious lesion even on CT colonography, then if necessary, we have to proceed with colonoscopy because we need a biopsy to prove our diagnosis. So these are the general investigations which we generally do to detect if we are suspecting any colon cancer in a patient.
Doctor, once a patient tests positive, God forbid, what are the treatment options available, and are all the treatment options available here in Hyderabad in India?
So normally the treatment for colon cancer is surgery. Surgery is the only curative option for patients with colon cancer. Whether it's affecting the left colon or the right colon, we perform a surgery. Either it can be an open surgery, it can be a laparoscopic surgery, or it can be a robotic surgery. So we remove that affected part of the colon with additional colon proximal to it and distal to it for margins. And also this colon cancer can even spread to regional areas. So these are called lymph nodes. So they generally spread to lymph nodes. So while during the surgery, we even clear all those lymph nodes. So all this is sent for a final histopathological analysis. So based on the final biopsy report, we decide whether the patient requires any further chemotherapy or not. So if it's in the early stages, as I've told you, surgery alone is sufficient and it is curative for the patient. But if it's in advanced stage, like I've told you, if it spreads to the lymph nodes, or if it has any other bad characteristics on a biopsy specimen, then we advocate chemotherapy for those patients. Generally, radiotherapy has no role in colon cancer. It is generally used only for a palliative setting. But the only curative option is surgery, if necessary, chemotherapy.
Let's take a short break now.
ప్రపంచ స్థాయి మల్టీ సూపర్ స్పెషాలిటీ హాస్పిటల్ SLG హాస్పిటల్స్
4 ఎకరాల సువిశాల ప్రాంగణంలో 999 బెడ్ల సౌకర్యంతో గ్లోబల్ JCI అండ్ NABH ప్రమాణాలతో అనుభవజ్ఞులైన వైద్య నిపుణులతో అత్యంత క్లిష్టమైన గుండె సమస్యలకు శస్త్రచికిత్సలు చేయబడును.
మెదడు మరియు నరాల సంబంధిత సమస్యలకు మొట్టమొదటిగా న్యూరో నావిగేషన్ టెక్నాలజీతో చికిత్స.
క్యాన్సర్ చికిత్స కోసం లీనాక్ వంటి అత్యాధునిక వైద్య పరికరాలతో చికిత్స.
కీళ్ల నొప్పులు, ఎముకలకు సంబంధించిన సమస్యలకు మరియు జీర్ణకోశ సంబంధిత వ్యాధులకు మెరుగైన వైద్యం అందించబడును.
20 అత్యాధునిక ఆపరేషన్ థియేటర్లు, 200 ICU బెడ్స్, అత్యాధునిక డయాలసిస్ సదుపాయం కలదు.
24 గంటలు ఎమర్జెన్సీ, డయాగ్నోస్టిక్, ఫార్మసీ సేవలు.
3 టెస్ట్ల MRI, CT స్కాన్ వంటి అత్యాధునిక వైద్య పరికరాలతో మరింత మెరుగైన సంరక్షణకు మీ ఎంపిక SLG హాస్పిటల్స్, నిజాంపేట్ రోడ్, బాచుపల్లి, హైదరాబాద్.
సెల్ నంబర్స్ 9133395500.
ఫోన్ నంబర్స్ 914023785678 మరియు 48525678.
టోల్ ఫ్రీ నంబర్ 1800-599-2020.
ఎమర్జెన్సీ 7799235678.
ఆంధ్ర ఆరోగ్యశ్రీ సదుపాయం కూడా కలదు.
Welcome back to SLG Hello Doctor. Doctor, is there any category of patients that's more at risk of colon cancer?
Yes, there are multiple risk factors for colon cancer. The most common ones are genetic factors, dietary factors, environmental factors. So when it comes to genetic factors, as we have already discussed, those are the genetic mutations like FAP syndrome and HMPCC syndrome. So out of 100 patients we treat, at least 5 to 10% of patients are ones who carry these genetic mutations. So the other ones are environmental factors. So patients who do smoking, excessive smoking, or who consume excessive alcohol are also at higher risk of colon cancer. So coming to dietary factors, patients who take low fiber diet, patients who take more of red meat, patients who take high fat and calorie intake, these are all the patients who have higher risk of developing colon cancer. And the other thing is obesity. Patients who are having high BMI or high waist circumferences, patients who have a sedentary lifestyle with physical inactivity. These patients have been found to have higher risk of colon cancer among the studies which have been in worldwide. So these are the general risk factors for developing colon cancer.
Doctor, in case the patient presents to you early with colon cancer symptoms, can medications help, or is it only surgery that is the treatment option?
So once a patient gets detected with colon cancer, there is no role of only medications. It has to involve some kind of intervention, surgical intervention. So in some cases where they have patients have colorectal polyps, so it's like small protrusion which develops in the colon. So if you can detect a patient at such an early stage where it is just in an early invasive stage and it is amenable for colonoscopic polypectomy, then you can only do a very small procedure. That is called, like I have already told you guys, like you introduce a colonoscope through your anus, then we just snare it out. We just cut that portion of the polyp and we send for biopsy. So if it's in very early stage, that treatment would be sufficient. You need not go through any major abdominal procedure. But anything more than that involving the bowel wall, it will require surgery. So surgery is only curative option, and chemotherapy based on the other risk factors which I have already discussed.
Doctor, once the surgery is done, what is the quality of life later on?
A lot of patients fear about this, about the quality of life after surgery. But generally the quality of life is very good. There's nothing, no change in your habits or your bowel habits following a surgery. You can resume to your normal work, maybe a few months of rest. If you're doing an open abdomen surgery, maybe patient requires a few months of rest, not lifting any heavy weights for around 6 months. So you can just go back to your normal life. If you're performing a robotic surgery or a laparoscopic surgery, the recovery will be faster and you can resume your work, your normal activities even faster. There's no change in your quality of life after surgery. Only thing is when a patient presents to us in an advanced stage where the tumor is very large and we have to resect a larger portion of colon, then we might have to put a stoma. Stoma is nothing but so once we cut the bowel, we have to anastomose the bowel, bring both the ends together. So to prevent any leakage of this, what we do is we bring the proximal small bowel outside and put it on your abdomen. So until this anastomosis or the areas where we join the bowel, until the stitches or the sutures heal, so the patient will pass stools from here. So he has to maintain a bag for this. That is called stoma. So this is generally a temporary stoma when you're doing for a colon cancer. So maybe after 2 months or 3 months, we do again a recheck colonoscopy, make sure that your anastomosis is intact and your sutures have healed well. Then we again do a very minor procedure. We again suture this bowel and push it back inside. So following that, other than this, generally the quality of life it's very good. So there's no need to worry about this. If you can present to us in an early stage or in an intermediate stage, we can avoid this stoma. Generally, who present to us in an advanced stage only, we have to perform this stoma for the safety of the patient. And that is also temporary, maybe 2 months or 3 months, and then we'll again put it inside.
Thank you, Dr. Srikanth, for walking us through the anatomy of colon cancer. But before we leave you, can you give us some parting advice?
The main reason for this video is I want to increase the awareness of colon cancer, and the way we can detect them early is screening. So screening is the only way. So screening is we try to evaluate patients who are at average risk for colon cancer, or patients who are presently are asymptomatic. So generally, according to ACS guidelines, which is American Cancer Society guidelines, we recommend screening for patients at the age of 45 years itself. So screening can be multiple ways. One is your fecal occult blood testing, where we send your stool sample for any blood, for detection of any blood in the stool sample. So that is one way, for which you have to do it annually. Every year you have to send your stool sample. You have to give your stool samples to just detect any colon cancer. So the other way is doing a sigmoidoscopy or colonoscopy, where we insert a camera through your anus and examine the entire lower gastrointestinal tract. That is the entire colon. So when you're doing a sigmoidoscopy, we do it every once in 5 years. If you are willing for a colonoscopy, we can do it once in 10 years. So if a colonoscopy detects nothing at the initial visit, you can again repeat a colonoscopy after 10 years. This is for a patient or an individual who's having no risk of colon cancer, who are at an average risk. Any regular person above the age of 45 years, male or female, have to undergo screening to detect colon cancers early. Because of the increasing incidence of colon cancers in our country, this is generally highly recommended. So this is one way, the screening is one way of doing this. And screening for patients who are having high risk of developing colon cancer, that is patients who are carrying genetic mutations like FAP and HMPCC, is different. So in these patients, we start colon cancer screening at a very early age. So for FAP syndrome, we start doing colonoscopy for children at the age of 10 to 12 years. We have to do colonoscopy screening every year starting at the age of 10 to 12 years. And for children or young adults with HMPCC syndrome, we start colonoscopy screening starting at the age of between age of 20 to 25 years. This has to be done either yearly or twice in a year, because we have to detect, because we know these patients are going to develop colon cancer. So we have to detect them at an early stage, and there should not be delay in detecting them. And the other factors which I want to recommend you guys is to prevent or at least decrease the risk of colon cancer is, one is the screening, which we have already discussed, and the other is diet. I suggest you guys have to take a very high fiber diet, a diet which is low in fat and calories, and diet, it is generally advised to avoid red meat. So what does red meat constitute? Red meat means anything like beef, pork or mutton. Generally chicken, egg and fish and all come under white meat. So white meat, it can be consumed, but red meat you have to keep it in moderate amounts, and generally it's better to avoid red meat. So high fiber diet and avoiding red meat is one way, and please avoid smoking and avoid alcohol intake. These are the things I wanted to convey to you guys through this interview. Thank you for attending this.
That bit of advice about annual colorectal screening was something I don't think any of us really know about, doctor. So thank you so much for that invaluable piece of advice. And thank you once again for being on SLG Hello Doctor with us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
We will be back with you soon with yet another interesting topic. See you back here, safe, happy and healthy. Namaste. Viewers, don't forget to hit the bell icon to keep yourself updated on all that's happening at SLG Hello Doctor.